Hey, Futurefrost here, introducing you to another one of my data packs for the Origins mod. Today I'm thrilled to unveil the Synthomorph Origin, a project that has demanded more effort than any of my previous data packs. Because this project demanded a substantial amount of effort, I'd be grateful if you could indulge me for a moment as I give you my take on the familiar please subscribe pitch. If you enjoy my content and want to show your support, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my YouTube channel. For more of my content, you can also catch my live streams on Twitch. I also have a Discord server in which you can receive notifications for my new video uploads and live streams. Although this origin wasn't suggested by my Discord community, discussions there did help fuel my creativity and inspire me to come up with this idea. So, I encourage you to join my Discord server, where you can explore more of my work and maybe even suggest ideas for other origins. I'm always open to origin suggestions, and I've created origins based on those suggestions in the past. If there's an origin concept you'd like to see, head over to my Discord server and share it with me. Joining my Discord server also allows you to report any bugs you come across and stay updated on the latest changes to my data packs and new releases. You'll find the Discord server link in the description as always. Now let's dive into the data pack. I hope I didn't lose too many of you. First, timestamps of each of the abilities in the origin of the base form. There will be timestamps popping up right now. For the synthesized forms, there will be a link in the description as well as the end card at the end of the video. Alright, let's hop into the origin. So, what is a synthomorph? A synthomorph is an oddity born with an incomplete genetic structure, making it reliant on integrating DNA from other life forms to temporarily enhance its form and maintain its well-being. The synthomorph origin has an impact of 3, meaning it significantly changes the gameplay of Minecraft. The first positive modifier that the origin adds is genetic echo. Repetitive incorporation of DNA into your own has left lasting imprints on your own genetic makeup. These imprints have resulted in a reduced need for food consumption. This modifier is pretty straightforward, just means that you don't have to eat food as often. The next positive modifier that the origin adds is Acclimated. The ongoing process of near constant self-decomposition within your body has yielded a remarkable immunity, rendering you highly resistant to the toxic effects of poisons as well as withering that might otherwise harm others. This is another one that's pretty straightforward, gives you complete immunity to status effects such as poison and withering. For the last positive modifier is Momentary Cocoon. For a brief period after successful DNA synthesis, incoming damage is reduced. So this modifier, what it does is after you synthesize, which is the next ability that we'll get to here in a second, you receive resistance for about 15 seconds, I believe. Next up is the primary ability, Synthesize. Integrate the DNA from mobs into your own genetic makeup, granting a temporary upgrade to a completed form. Ensure that the DNA samples are sourced from mob drops containing viable genetic material. It's important to note that certain drops, like iron, would be ineffective for this purpose. Heat exposure during cooking degrades a DNA sample, making it unusable. That was a lot of information at once. I'll explain that real quick. Mob drops such as pork chop or beef, leather, even something like a bone from a skeleton, you can hold while using this ability, and that will combine that item into your own form, temporarily enhancing your being and giving you special abilities unique to those items. If you used beef, it's going to turn you into something else than if you used pork. So an iron golem, let's say it drops iron, that's not something you would be able to synthesize into yourself, as that doesn't have any genetic material in it. And then the ability finished off by saying that heat exposure degrades the DNA, and what that means is just cooking an item will make it so you can't synthesize it. So while a raw beef works just fine, if you cook it, try to use the steak to synthesize, you're not going to be able to do that. So cooking food is kind of a trade-off where you're getting food, but you're also losing material that you could have synthesized, so it's a balance. For the first neutral modifier, we have an Enigmatic Translucence. In your incomplete form, you manifest as semi-translucent, revealing numerous voids within your being. For the next neutral modifier, we have Mini Morphling. When in your base form, your size is significantly smaller than that of most creatures. And to sum up those neutral abilities, you're basically just smaller, and your character is rendered as partly transparent. For the first negative modifier, we have Absolute Focus. Integrating DNA into your own requires a high level of skill and focus. During the process, you zone out the world around you, dedicating your attention solely to the intricate task of combining the delicate genetic material. What this modifier means is that it ties back to the Synthesize ability in that 3 points will spawn around you that you have to click, and while those are there, you will be blinded to everything around you. For the next negative modifier, we have genetic insufficiency. Your genetic structure is inherently unstable when it is not integrated with the DNA of another life form. Prolonged existence in this incomplete state gradually weakens and confuses you, eventually reaching a point where it becomes life-threatening. What this modifier means is if you are outside of a synthesized form for too long, you will get slowness, your vision gets desaturated, and you'll even get to the point where it starts slowly killing you. The next negative modifier we have is decomposition. The DNA you splice into your own sourced from deceased creatures naturally undergoes decomposition. As a result, you revert back to your weaker base form after a certain period. Notably, exerting yourself appears to accelerate this decomposition. To explain this modifier, once you have synthesized a form, you only have so much time in it, and if you use an ability while in this form, it will take even more of that time. An example of something that might not be an ability that would accelerate your decomposition would be something like flying, which is in a couple of the forms. The next negative modifier is reversion fatigue. After the decomposition process has taken its toll, a phase known as reversion fatigue sets in. During this period, you are rendered incapable of synthesizing any genetic modifications. So this modifier loops back to the one that we just went over, in that once you've run out of form time, you won't just be able to immediately go into another form. Now for the last negative modifier is shifting form. Due to the frequent alteration of your physical form, wearing an armor or an elytra is an impossibility. What this modifier means is as you turn into different forms using your Synthesize ability, you change scale, and as you're changing between that scale, wearing armor, it would either fall off you or crush you as you're changing, so it's just not something you're able to do. This is made up for in the forms having different abilities, like some of them allowing you to fly with an elytra, or just fly like you were in creative mode, or giving you extra health to make up for not being able to wear armor. Now, something you may have noticed is that there is more negative modifiers than positive modifiers, with there only being 3 positive and 5 negative. This is because it is not incentivized to be in your base form, and the synthesized forms make up for that by giving you more positives than negatives. If you would like to look at all the different synthesized forms, there will be a video, again, linked in the description as well as at the end of this video, which goes over all the synthesized forms in case you want to see those. I don't necessarily recommend doing that, as I feel part of the fun of this data pack and Origin is trying to find out what you can synthesize and what it does. Because that's something I had in mind as I was developing the data pack, I added advancements to keep track of your forms and what they do. Thank you for checking out the data pack and watching this video. If you have any concerns or feedback you would like to give me, you can do so in the comments or over on my Discord. If you find any bugs, report so over on my Discord. I'm sure there's a lot. It's a massive data pack, so I'm sure I made a few mistakes. Anyways, thanks again. See you all next time.